Township of Powhatan, regular monthly meeting, Tuesday, December 17th, 2013.
It's a mess up at my place.
Okay,
I'll call this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Express Times and Star Gazette, satisfying the Open Public Meeting Act. If we could please stand for a silent prayer and then flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I Wanda, do we have to take these minutes separately?
Evidently not, because Councilman Slack isn't here, so.
There we go, that works. Okay. All right, do I have a motion? Is there a motion for the minutes?
I have to, I took the one I read, but this one I just took it out of the box. That's all.
Okay.
Didn't read it.
Has everybody read all the minutes?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right, so,
Second it.
okay. You move it?
I'll move it.
Okay, Sal, second, okay. Yes.
I'll have to say, I haven't finished reading the whole page.
Dan Jelly?
Yes,
Yes. Okay, motion to pay the bills presented in proper form, signed by the director of each department and approved by the majority of the members listed on the bill list.
I'll move that the ones have been signed.
second it.
Because the Councilman Slack isn't here yet.
You want to put the same condition that we did the
Yes,
last
yes, yeah.
That's one big Slack. Okay.
Is that good?
And Becker?
Yes?
Dan Luke? Yes. Dan Jelly?
Yes,
Aaron Burr?
Yes. Okay, public comment pertaining to agenda items. Is there any public comment pertaining to agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on to attorney's report.
Mayor, I did successfully reach out to Walmart this afternoon. Apparently, neither Greenwood Street nor the reconstructed portion of Bliss Boulevard have been accepted as public roads yet. They've been working on that for some time. It's a very complicated ownership structure that has to sign off on the deeds. But Gwen had alerted me to the fact that the roads weren't getting plowed. Those two roads are still their responsibility. I went by just now. It looked like they did get their crew out there, but they're now aware. I guess they had a new store manager out there since the last winter. Plus, I don't think we had a heck of a lot of snow last winter,
No.
so we're already ahead of schedule. So those roads will be maintained by them going forward, until they're accepted, which I would expect sometime next year. So that's been addressed. I did speak with the gentleman on the bridge construction project who was originally looking for some compensation. I think he's satisfied with the getting the block from the old bridge when we spoke about whatever his name.
Property owner's name, Mr. Hart.
Heinrich, yeah.
So I did speak with him today. I'm not sure whether he's going to send us back the easements or not. We had asked for a temporary construction easement. That's kind of beyond the point at this point. We've already started, but he seems to be satisfied. So we'll see if we get the permanent easement. I did circulate a memo just for everybody's digestion with respect to the EAI settlement, and I did speak with our planner today, and frankly, I wasn't aware that they had been down in front of our land use board looking for yet another permutation of the project and a zone change and so on and so forth. So I did speak with her today. I did get out a memo to Lynn Arrow and the rest of the board, just outlining where the settlement stands. But I think what we'll do at this point is try to further modify that settlement agreement to incorporate the more recent zone change. So we'll work on that.
Okay.
Um,
So we have to take action then to amend that?
If we need to, we can bring it back here and
Okay.
approve a revised settlement. But as I said, I wasn't aware of the fact that they apparently were in foreclosure and have a possible contract with another developer for a different kind of a project and so on and so forth. So
What is the latest? I mean, is that I've been to some of those meetings. Is that the apartment complex idea? Or?
it's some type of multi-family
That's what it was
dwelling
supposed to be.
complex,
Well,
yeah.
that's what they're at. The Woodmont Properties was who they had brought in, who it was supposed to be, and now we're not sure what it is.
Yeah, and apparently, as I understand from Susan Gruhl, our planner, the zoning for that type of use has already been incorporated into the periodic reexamination of our master plan. What hasn't been done yet is the actual zoning itself to implement that. And as I understand it from her, there was some discussion with EAI about them posting some escrows in order to get that work done. So, you know, all that happened after we had resolved this case last August. I think we'll probably end up tweaking the settlement agreement to incorporate that change and go forward from there. I still would like to get that settlement accomplished because it does dismiss the case as a litigation. STIPs would be filed. And we also get the contribution for Banish's master bills. But we'll work on that and get that wrapped up, I guess, next year at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also spoke with our planner with respect to summer school.
Yeah, she sent me a memo.
Yeah, so and the idea, I think the concept is to do dual track it at this point. They're so close to getting that.
Well, they're going to have
RFP.
the RFP
Right.
out for next week, so we can have veterans groups come in and bid on it,
Right.
essentially.
And she also seemed to feel that they could incorporate some open space.
Yeah,
and
well, we
green
talked about that
and
today,
a green, some type of a green project for that area as well. So, that's been a long time coming, that RFP, but that's involves some work, so it has to be done right. So that's underway. Beyond that, we have some contract things, that I comment on that I assume are for executive personnel.
Yes,
or,
yeah.
or just for you to digest in general. I don't think there's anything else.
Do we
for
need to
public
make
consumption.
this was already motioned
Oh, the
on
SSP contract? Yes.
That can just be signed, because we already approved that.
I had prepared a contract at one point, because my understanding was they'd asked me to prepare that, so I did that weeks ago.
I know.
And I was a little bit upset with them. I mean, they did a nice job the first go-around, but this contract situation just sat. When I finally filed up, they said they were working on it, and then today, they finally sent, I guess this morning by overnight, a standard form AIA contract with some caveats in it that mirror what I had in my contract. I'm satisfied with it. I mean, we just have to get it going. So,
Okay. We already approved it, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
so this
Yes,
is,
we did.
okay,
yeah, so I think you just have to re-execute these counts.
okay.
And then I did get a letter from the attorney for TCI, and they're looking to set up some type of meeting. At this point, I can turn that over
Over to SSP.
SSP.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm
Great.
going to let them know that tomorrow.
all right, great. All right, thank you, Kevin. Gwen?
I really just have two things just to update you on the two construction projects. The Maple Avenue project is essentially complete, and we just have to, once I can get a certified property owners list from Ben, we'll send in the formal NJDEP application for that project. We've got an emergency authorization from them, but we have to do kind of like an as-built permit when it's all done. So that project really came out good, and I think the contract amount was 136-ish, 139, and the overall cost will be probably around 105, maybe something like that. So it came in
Way under.
yeah. So they did a really nice job. So, and then the River Road project, we were looking to start that tomorrow, and I had a conversation with the contractor today, and like to get council's input, but my gut feeling is that we put it off at this point. Maybe if the winter season hadn't started out as strong and badly as it did, but at this point, I think I'd rather keep River Road open and have less people have to use that detour. If something happens and the bridge collapses, we can always get in and start the project then. But as long as we get approval from DEP to do the work in the spring instead of doing it now under the emergency authorization, I think for public safety, we'd be probably prudent to just hold it off.
If the bridge collapses with someone on it, are we liable?
No, talk to Kevin.
Well, look, we're doing the best we can to address the situation. We're not ignoring it, and we have limited resources, and we're dealing with weather. So I think you know, I understand where Gwen's going, because that detour is going to be a pain in the neck road for people if we have inclement weather, right?
2 months?
No, I think when you just look at the risk variable,
Yeah,
I think it's more likely
I think
to
the
have
cost benefit, you know, you could have an accident on the detour road in bad weather.
I think that's more likely than
more likely than the bridge
bridge
collapse.
How
collapse.
long does it have to be?
We could do it now. You can do it through the winter. There's ways to keep the concrete warm, and a lot of it's precast, which is what the problem has been, is getting the components. So it could be done, and that's what we were planning to do, but I'm getting myself a little bit scared now that we've had, you know, we aren't even in winter, and we've had, you know,
Well, I was,
more
yeah,
snow than we would anticipate.
we always have the Weather Channel or Channel 69 weather on at our house, and it's just that the temperature's going to start to rise again, or even Sunday, they said it may get into the low 60s.
Yeah.
That's why I was just
Well,
questioning about the one.
Well, that's for this week, but we're looking at a 2-month construction period, so it would be nice to have 60 degrees through the whole
Not like the
time.
winter we had 2 winters ago, right?
Is the cost of the project any different if you do it in the winter versus in the spring?
Not really. No, I just need to get authorization from DEP. We have an emergency permit. They typically have a restriction on working in Delaware from April 1st till June 1st, I think it is, or June 30th, most likely because of the shad. This obviously isn't in the Delaware, but it's tributary to it, so I tried to call the person who signed off on the emergency permit today. He wasn't in, so I'm going to try to have a conversation with him tomorrow and see if we can put it off until, you know, maybe started in March or first, you know, early April.
Might want to change the sign then.
Well, the signs will come down. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Does our state aid get affected by that as well? Like,
No.
because we've committed to.
Yeah.
I'll kill
No, there.
him. Go ahead, Glenn.
Send Frank down there. He likes to cook those.
Oh, no, the last time he killed it. And
That's stink bugs.
And that's all I have.
Great,
So
great.
anyway, so I should pursue that.
Do we need an official motion?
I
Okay.
just wanted to get kind of things.
I think it makes sense all the way around.
But I've been the one pushing to get it done now, but I just a little bit. I just got hit with too much snow right now that it's put me in a panic.
Yeah, I think
and I think
that-
about coming down Pincher's Point to that intersection with Mountain Road, I think the least amount of cars that can use that, the better.
Well, then if we could just get up signs as quick as possible when we are going to, you know.
We'll take the
I think
signs down
Yeah.
that are there, and then probably a couple weeks in advance. Typically, you do it 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Glenn. So that's all?
Yes, that's it. Sorry.
Great, great. All right, Frank.
One minute. The parts of that bridge, are we going to keep them when?
The deck.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. They will deliver them down to the yard.
I'm not sure about that, but they would probably load them onto a vehicle of ours. Would that be possible, Donnie? No? Okay. Then I'll talk to him about delivering it.
Is that also?
Yeah.
All right, Frank.
Not a lot to report. Budget requests have been sent out to department heads, so we can get going on that. I'd like to congratulate the mayor on his letter to the editor. I thought it was an excellent letter. If you don't know, it was about the paying or allocating, carving out an amount from our sales tax to pay for ongoing preservation ad infinitum. Not that we're opposed to preservation, we just think that I think it's ironic that we'd have to pay sales tax and we're the ones who are being hurt by the highlands. So why should we have to tax or pay for being harmed by the highlands? So I think the mayor had a much better idea of getting reimbursed for our property rights being taken through water tax. I don't know the likelihood of it ever happening, but at least it makes more sense. So I think that was very good. And hence the resolution we have on the agenda today. I had a question on we talked about the regional master plan, and a few meetings ago we had the visions. We had Mr. Weber here, and we talked about the changes to the vision statement that was part of that. And I know the land use board hadn't met for a while, but is there any progress on the changing that vision
I
statement?
think the final vote for it was on the meeting that was canceled, I believe. Discussion, I think there were a couple things that had to be.
Yeah, I saw it on the agenda.
So I think it was supposed to be brought up then, so by January.
Are you going to work to make changes?
Well, I can ask. I don't know if they're going to, but I can make our position, because I think we made the motion on that. Did we not?
Yeah, it was approved.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all I have.
Okay, great. Thank you, Frank. Dave is not here. So, Mary?
Oh, Wednesday. No. Okay, well, with the police report, we have the usual of 544 calls for service and 359 traffic summonses and 24 arrests, and the CI unit opened 30 new cases. But the other thing is, and I'm assuming by the I, it's our chief, attended a counterterrorism meeting at the New Jersey State Police Division headquarters. And during that meeting, the Paramus Mall shooting incident was discussed. And then from that, he was able to pick up information and lessons learned from the incident. And those lessons will be incorporated into our own police department's response to an emergency at one of our malls. Because you think it'll never happen to you. I'm sure in Paramus they never thought it would happen. So there you go. So they're developing a training plan for the emergency responses, and then they're going to meet with the mall management to ensure that a proper mall response is in place. And then the other part that's really neat is the department will be the first to incorporate that it's ready for DOC, right?
Ready for DA.
DA. You know what? I was thinking to myself, is it
DA.
or DA?
District attorney.
DA. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's a common, you know, and he even told me, but you know, aging, great age, you know. But anyway, it's a function that's on the CODI system, and it's successful for the rest of the country. If it's successful, the rest of the country then will also implement the system. The Ready for DA allows the county prosecutor to access our investigative and arrest records for prosecution. And there will no longer be the need to mail or fax case files. This will help alleviate trial delays, and it allows instant information transfer between the police department and the county prosecutor. So I think that's pretty neat. So we're the pilot program, I guess. Very good.
We're in the whole country?
It's the county,
Oh,
Warren County.
So do you think
I said country.
that this will
that's what you said.
prosecution for cases in Powhatan, or are you
Well,
not that optimistic?
Cases that, yeah, well, Superior Court,
Yeah.
you would not believe
Yeah, I have a-
No, they don't have a report here, they don't have a report there. Cases get postponed in the last minute, but now, see, they won't be able to have access to any of our records until everything's approved. Every one of our reports are approved. So it has to be signed off first. Once it's checked off, saying that it was reviewed by a supervisor, then at that point, they can access it. So it's definitely going to be something that is going to work, as far as not slowing up cases, and they have a fax machine up there, and they're getting information from all the departments in the county. They'll call us and say, hey, we need this report. Well, we sent it up to you 2 weeks ago. Now we won't have to do that anymore, because if they have any questions, they can just go on the computer and access our report right there. So that's where eventually with technology, that's where we're not going to use the fax machines and that stuff anymore. So Cody was already down. We're installing the software, and we'll see how it goes.
Have we used the screen yet for people to be arraigned?
Not at this point, no. I was talking to Cindy. We're trying to get that worked out. I guess there's a problem with the server.
Okay.
So that's something that,
I think we need a separate line for it.
yeah.
That's
All
so.
right. And then last but not least, and this is really neat too, our chief has been investigating about using the prisoners from the PLAT program to move the records and straighten up the old Shimer school. And he spoke with the jail, and they're trying to set it up with a tentative date. So that's pretty neat too. So I
Well,
think.
we know that there was records that you guys want to transfer.
Mhm.
So
There's
we
still
did
records over
speak
there.
to the jail, and they said that we're looking at January 6th. So we're hoping. They said they had to get the approval from their bosses, but I don't know if that date's going to work out, but one will work out. And
Right. But
they'll
that-
clean up the school.
Well, that'll take the burden off of our road department.
Yes. Well, we might need vehicles,
Oh, okay.
but they'll do all the records and things like that.
We'll be driving around town, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I did interview for our zoning officer and zoning code enforcement person. But we'll discuss that first.
Great. Thank you, Mary. Sal?
Jeff, by Rustic Acres, there's 2 cars that's been there for years. Would you investigate those 2 cars? If we do 1 or 2 a week, we could clean up the area or the whole township.
It's where exactly? Is it at Rustic Acres?
No, they're at a red barn, and they're parallel with the red barn.
They're not down that lane.
No.
It goes up into the
They're
field.
right alongside the barn.
You know what kind of cars are there?
2 of them.
What kind are they? I'll take a ride.
I'll have to let you
Do
know.
they look like they belong to the barn?
Yeah. Looks that way to me. Okay?
Yeah, we'll look at it.
Let's go back to the Shimer School. Hagedorn. It's outside of Clinton there. They have a veterans home down there too. And I just want you to know, I don't think that area is for veterans up there in Shimer Manor. I think we're going to have a lot of people on us.
In what respect?
Because a lot of these veterans are on the wacky weed. And
Alliteration.
no, we have to be very careful of what we put there.
Hagedorn was the old TB hospital in
Right.
Glen Gardner, right?
That's right.
Right. So it's always been used. It was used as a psychiatric hospital.
Right.
It's always been used as a hospital facility.
That's
But-
right.
But we're not talking about turning Shimer into a hospital facility. We're talking about turning it into something, some housing that veterans would be able to use. So it's kind of a little bit different than a hospital.
It's
And a
no
hospital
hospital,
setting.
it's no hospital, but
I worked there
let's
as a
stop and
college
think,
student.
let's stop and think about it. You know, the Shimer Manor area, you know, is a nice area. Well, all the different areas in Pohat are nice, but it's really
Aren't our
congested.
veterans entitled to a nice area?
Yes, they are. But we have to look at what expense we have to pay for it.
Sal, we're putting the Shimer School, which we bought, which was probably
Which I
one of the
don't
worst
think-
things the town ever did, but now we have this building. We're going to fulfill our some of our COA obligation, which we have to do, which I think you have even made some comments in regards to COA, which are bold to say the least, but I think veterans housing is the best case scenario for COA, and I think it'll be good for our community because there really is nowhere for them to go a lot of times.
And don't forget also, I mean, it's a request for proposal process as a.
It could fail, like no one might not even be interested.
We don't know the interest, and B, any project, in addition to going through the RFP process, is gonna be going through the full land use process. Our role at this point would be basically the concept would be to convey the property with the deed restriction for a little, nominal consideration to a nonprofit developer. They go out and get all the federal funding, the matching grants, and they would take that building and turn it hopefully into a very nice building, modernized, nice, for, low, moderate, and veterans-oriented services. But there could be a green elements. I know the mayor and the planners, I just said in my report, Sal, there's a lot that can be done over there. There's a decent amount of space. And you had a major role in having Walmart get rid of those trailers, so we're slowly getting it in order, and I think it's a very good use. And the other important factor was that drove us in this direction too, if you recall, was that the state was trying to seize all of our affordable housing trust fund monies that we accumulated over the years, and we had about $500,000 of them. So the way we were able to keep that money in the township was to basically reimburse ourselves for that purchase. And in doing so, we had to put the deed restrictions on there. So, but we're not wedded to it. If the veteran stuff doesn't develop enough interest from the commercial sector, we can go a different direction because the deed restriction is more generic than that. It's just a affordable housing generic restriction. So it could be veterans, it could be normal, it could be different things. So
What would you want
You
there?
can't be senior
What would
because
I
you
want?
already
Well, you
have
have
enough
enough
COA credits.
you have a lot of flexibility. You're going to have flexibility.
Some more senior citizens.
We can't.
We have all our credits for senior housing.
So you're okay,
I know
Sal.
we do, but there is such a demand.
But Sal, we can't do it. It's done. So what's your idea now?
Let's sell it.
Sell it. For what? Who's going to buy that?
Who's gonna buy it? I'll bet you there's people out there. that'll buy it.
We had a conversation with auctioneers on several occasions who told us, don't waste your money putting it out for auction. And it's going to sit there, and then it could be whatever a developer wants it to be. So this, I think, can have great benefit for our township. There's a lot of people who live in this township who are veterans, who are serving our country now, who may want to come back and live in Powhatan. I mean, I think you're associating all veterans with having, post-traumatic stress disorder, and they're going to run around Shimer Manor causing problems, which we're talking about veterans who, somewhere for our vets to live when they come back, like an apartment complex or something. I mean, this isn't going to be like a psychiatric ward with walls and things like that. So, and I don't think it's fair to characterize it as that, nor do I think it's fair to degrade somebody by even talking about that in a poor way as well. So I think.
What do you mean degrade somebody?
Well, I mean, you said veterans are on the wacky weed. So I mean,
I didn't say all veterans.
we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
All right. Do you have anything else?
Let's see. I told you about the police catching juveniles already. Up at Crestwood Field, but we need more vigilantes out there. If they see someone on a four-wheeler, to call the police immediately to apprehend these juveniles that are ruining the field.
We need more vigilant people.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have a problem. Yeah.
That's it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Sal. We already touched on the Shimer School, so just to reiterate what Kevin was saying, I spoke to Susan Gruhl today just about incorporating some green in the Shimer School area too. We actually own a lot of property that's there, and some of it is actually overflow parking from when it was a school. So we're trying to think of a way to also incorporate a park up there as well for Shimer Manor, because I'm pretty sure
There
there's
is
not.
one small park there.
There is, yes, but it's like a lot.
It's like on the
yeah.
end of Pennsylvania, I think.
Yes,
Like the end of
yeah.
it, that is kind of like a little.
It's and I don't think most people know it's there, to be honest.
I did the dedication for it.
That's why you know.
It has a bench in it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But that's something that, we're working on incorporating. To Frank's point that we, just about this resolution, I won't read it, but anyone could ask for a copy of it. But it's essentially petitioning the legislature to implement a water tax, which I believe is probably somewhat of an annual event for regions that are in the Highlands area. At the end of the resolution, we're going to send this to every municipality that's located within the Highlands Water and Protection Act area to ask them to support it as well. And also we'll be sending it to the Speaker of the Assembly and the Senate President, who I'm sure will not even pay any attention to this. But we know that the governor has said that he's in favor of a water tax. And also today, the governor said that he would absolutely not support the sales tax proposal that was floated by some folks. So that has no shot in New Jersey while Governor Christie's there, which is good.
Also, are you going to send a copy of this resolution to the Highlands Council also?
We can, but they have no impact over.
I know, but I think just to make our point.
Or maybe we could send to the Highlands Coalition.
Because there is nobody on that council from Warren County. And I just think that it would just let them
No, we
know
can send it
that
to
there
them.
is a-
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, we can send it to them. We'll send it to whomever we want. The other correspondence we sent out was to school board president, Dean McBride, to alert the school board about the tax appeal that the township has just entered into with the mall. And the reason for that was because the township now, once we're aware of this, we know that we have to prepare and brace for a major loss of revenue coming into the township. So we felt, as the taxing authority, to send something to the school board to let them know about this. It was reported, in my opinion, disingenuously over the summer that the school had actually lowered taxes, but the assessment had actually reduced. So spending stayed the same. So we wanted spending went up, 2%. So we wanted to send to the board that you're going to have to cut a significant amount of funding to keep your spending where it's at, or residents are going to see a significant tax increase. So the council and I are going to be very proactive with this to make sure residents know that when their tax bills come out in the spring, because if I'm making a bet, I'm willing to bet that the school board will most likely not make the cuts that are necessary to keep tax spending where it's at. We're going to make sure that we're proactive in making sure residents know where to direct, their anger with the situation, because it is going to be significant if spending is not dramatically reduced. So that was
The other issue with
What's
that,
going to be dramatic?
Unfortunately, the new board will.
the new board will be burdened with that, yeah. But, that's why they ran, so, there's, what was it, Sal? What's going to be?
The spending at the school, how much are we going to cut from their budget? Well, we can't
We
cut
can't,
anything.
no.
We can't cut anything from their
Unless they go
budget.
over 2% and it goes to referendum and then it's defeated, right? That's the only
right,
way.
at this point, any increase between 0 and 2 doesn't go out to vote anymore.
Which you take your 2 and go
Right.
home, yeah.
That's what they did last year.
Yeah. Which I think most school boards did in the state.
I think you hit it on the head. I think the key is to let residents know what their taxes go towards, the percentage going to school versus county versus municipality, and then the residents will know where to look for savings in taxes.
Well, if they look at their tax bill, it actually tells you on that.
That's right.
Sometimes you need the little
Little
push though, because ultimately, when people go to pay their tax, they're coming here, so it's like, that's where
We
they,
get all the blame.
Yeah, the perception is that it's all us.
yeah.
And in fact, when a problem like this happens with the Phillips tax mall, unfortunately, it is all on us.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
heads we win, tails we lose. Or heads we win, heads you win, tails we lose.
Yeah, right, yeah.
If bad news happens, like the Phillipsburg tax appeal happens, and it's all on the municipality.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a refund from the portion that we collect for other entities. So there's been some discussion about legislatively correcting that, because you're absolutely right, Frank. When we collect not only for the school, but we collect for the county and the county library tax. But the refund comes solely out of the local municipality's budget. There's been a lot of talk about correcting that. So far, I haven't seen it. There's some very modest correct. I think if there's interest or something imputed, they share in that. But we've negotiated an interest-free refund. So, it will fall on us, but hopefully it'll balance out a little bit, as we go forward.
Yeah. Light at the end of the tunnel. So, I don't have anything else. So, do we want to do I have a motion for
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
That's the water usage.
water usage tax?
Becker?
Yes.
Lindley?
Yes.
Angelic?
Yes.
Yes. Ordinances, we have none. Motions to schedule the township reorganization regular meeting for Tuesday, January 7th, 2013 at 7 p.m.
I will move that.
Second.
Hope Dave can make it.
Becker?
Yes.
Lindley?
Yes.
Angelic?
Yes.
Yes, I'm not sure. Okay, public comment. Is there any public comments, general public comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion for a 20-minute executive session on personnel?
I move that we go into executive session to discuss personnel. We have nothing legal that we have to discuss.
I don't think so. No, we're in
No,
pretty good
it's
shape.
just
legal-wise.
personnel, yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, Becker?
Yes.
Lindley?
Oh,
Yes.
Angelic?
Yes.
Yes. 20 minutes. All right, do I have a motion to leave executive session and come back to public?
I'll make that
I'll move
motion.
that.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. All right, Barry, do you have a motion?
Yes, I move that we hire Joe Rossi as our zoning officer / zoning code enforcement officer. Yes, he's certified, which is unusual to find in zoning people, which is pretty cool. And it would be for a salary, a combined salary not to exceed $1,000.
Yes.
Starting January.
So there's a motion. Is there a second?
It's hiring pending his acceptance of the offer.
Well, yes. it would be
Second. Yes.
Dan Luke,
Yes.
Dan Jarrett,
No.
and Turner.
Yes. Okay. Well, there's not a lot of people here, but I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I look forward to working with this exact same council next year. I think we did a very good job. I think we can do even better next year, and I'm glad it's all going to be us up here again in 2014. So, that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I would be adjourned.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Merry Christmas. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's coming.